y'all. Happy Saturday. Pray you guys had a wonderful day doing whatever it is that you do. What y'all got going on? This weekend we went on a trip. You know, whether it's business or something that one of my crew have going on, we try to incorporate it into a family thing so that we can make the most of the trips. And you know, so KJ had something going on this weekend. I had something going on. So today we just combined the festivities and said, you know what, let's make it a family thing, a family affair. And so had to get out of the Ville for a minute. Don't know where I'm at. But I was just thinking about what I had to do to get here, what all transpired on my way out here, and I was reflecting on faith on this whole weekend, and especially last night, yesterday. To God be the glory. You know, we're here. I thank God for traveling grace. You know, to and from our destination, and just asking Him to keep us protected while we are away. Well, at all times, but you know, even more so while we're out of the country. While we're out and about. But I was just thinking because yesterday, you know, as we got ready to get out, you know, it was a lot of things that transpired on the road, things with the car, you know, and then I was a little frustrated because I did something sporadic, most of the time I plan what I'm gonna do, and then other times, you know, very rare, but other times we do things sporadic, you know. Like one day we were at church and the kids and I both had an overwhelming day or time or week or whatever it was. I can't specifically quote what it was. And we all just gradually was thinking after church, we said, let's just go get out of Fayetteville. We just need a break, a change of scenery. And you know what we did? As soon as we got out of church, we went and got a change of clothes and we just went down to the beach that Sunday afternoon. And we spent the whole day up there and it was so therapeutic. And we had an amazing time. And so that's kind of what we did this weekend. It was a business, but recreation trip that we had to go on this weekend. And, you know, ultimately we just trust God. You know, like I said, there was a lot of things we seen on the road, things that, you know, my car isn't all that, you know, to go. And, you know, we just trust God and we have faith. And then last minute, there was these issues with our reservation. And the hotels that I booked at, for some reason, I mean, I don't want to get into a long thing because it's going to be a long video and I don't want to do all that. It was just that whatever could go wrong yesterday definitely went wrong. Card was acting up. Somebody took money out my account. Our room got canceled. I quickly booked another room and then they were overbooked, double booked. And then, you know, hotels don't be wanting to give your money back. And then when they take these fees, and then if they do issue a refund, the money doesn't go back on your card at that time. You know, it takes a while. So you might be like, okay, I'll just get the refund from this and then I'll go use it for that. And it doesn't work like that when you get these refunds. So that's why I want to say rule of thumb. If you guys, some of y'all probably noticed already, and I knew this, but I was just hopeful, you know, but it happened with 2 different transactions. So when I did it, it kind of almost depleted what I had in my budget to incorporate this trip. So I was like, Lord, this can't be. I know you're not going to have me and my babies out here in the middle of the night, stranded with no place to sleep and no place to lay our head in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, I just, you know, give it to God. I prayed about it. I'm like, Lord Jesus, I need you right now. Just take this wheel. I'm getting sleepy. You know, I just, you know, had my conversations with him and God worked it out. And so, you know, I want to remind you today that you don't want to do things realistic and say, you want to have faith. You know, you have to exercise our faith in all we do, especially in perspective to God and with Jesus. However, when it comes to some things, you can't say, I was thinking of something, but I don't want to say that because it's kind of too vulgar or violent. You can't say, I'm going to throw this baby up in the air and I know the baby's going to come down, it's going to float. I have faith that when I throw this baby in the air, that the baby's going to go down and gradually just float. Or you can't say, I'm going to run off the building and then I'm gonna start gliding and flying. I mean, what I say that to say that basically we have to exercise our faith, but we have to have like a realistic type faith. When it comes to God, that is all it is. It is real. It is faith. But I'm just saying you have to be real with yourself when it comes to what type of things that you're gonna have faith in. You can't spend all your money buying paraphernalia or saying, oh, I'm gonna go get my hair and nails done, and deplete all the money that you have to pay your bills, and just say, oh, I know a miracle is gonna come and I'm gonna be irresponsible. That's the difference. When you're being irresponsible, when you're being negligent, you make a irresponsible decision and do certain things and then put yourself in a bind and then be saying, oh God, I need you to make a way. You can't spend your bill money, and just go get your hair and nails done and go out to eat and all these things, and then be sitting at home in the dark and in the lights and saying, God, I need you to make a way out of no way, because we're intentionally putting ourselves in those situations. I'm kind of losing my thought right now, but that's really what I wanted to say, and I hope that it came out the way in which I intended, and I was just thinking about that on this evening and on my way up here, because when I was telling somebody about the situation I was in, they were instantly coming for me and was like, I was sharing with my sister friend, and she was like, well, why would you just go up there if you didn't have the money to do that and put yourself in the situation? First of all, I didn't do that, and that's like where you have that realistic faith, and or else when you're doing that, going out there making a silly decision to do something when you didn't have the money to go out there and do that, and then you're calling on people to help you out. That wasn't the case in this situation. It's just that so I mapped out everything and had everything planned out. I had my gas money, had my trip money, my fees for the business, whatever my business, the reason why I was out here on business, and emergency, a little bit of emergency, But like I said, what threw me off was I didn't think that I've never seen anything like this before, where a hotel can double book or overbook you, and then like in this one hotel in particular, it had 3 people was checked in the same room, and one person was in my room already, in the room, and then they had 2 people scheduled to come in, and I was one of them and somebody else was one of them, and then when I got there in the middle of the night, because online it showed my room was available, and when I got there, and I had a confirmation number and everything, and when I got there and got ready to check in, he was like, okay, I got you, and then all of a sudden he looks back and was like, wait, I'm sold out for the night. So it was a matter of, are you lying to me, or are you just don't want to give me this room, or are you really sold out? Is there a clerical error or something, And it was in the middle of the night, y'all, and I was just like frustrated, very, very frustrated. And that's when you have to like really give it to God, pray about situations, trust God, and then also like know that there had to be an error. So automatically when that happened, I knew it had to be an error of some sort, because how do you show somebody is checked in the room, but you got 3 people checked in one room, but only one person is there and 2 people are waiting to check in? That just didn't make sense to me. So I went back to my car, I prayed about it, I gave it to God, and I was just standing fast, not ready to get angry, upset, although I was very tired and I was very angry and upset, and then nonetheless, I go back in there 10-15 minutes later, I review my reservation with myself and online, I'm trying to call the third-party agency, and I'm like, they even took my money for the room. And then, like again, by the grace of God worked that thing out for us, and we were able to get in the room. Now, had I just settled for that, or got mad, angry, and upset, and did all that loud cursing or throwing stuff or getting loud with the rep, I would have went back to my car, and my daughter thinks she free willy out here. Why would you jump into the donut? I saw you, but that looks scary and dangerous to me. And had I just accepted that, and just went off what he said, then we would have been without a room. We would have been sleeping in the car in the middle of nowhere. So I just thank God, y'all. In all that I do, I give him all the praise, the glory, the honor. And I'm learning to accept as I'm getting older and even deeper in my walk that what God has for me is for me. And if he brought me to it, he's definitely gonna bring me through it. I trust God with that. And if I didn't get it, maybe it just wasn't my time, or I gotta do things you know, reassess the situation. Is it for me? Is there something I got to do to put forth the word? Think about that, y'all. Just want to share that with you. I'm going to jump off out of here. I love you. God loves you more. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Y'all be safe.